Yeah, hi. Hi everyone. Yeah, just so you know, this is all like last minute. And it's funny you say that because I was just thinking like, what am I going to say? Just so you know, because I'm on the autistic spectrum or neurodiverse NDs, would like to be called, and we all diverse really. So we're all on the spectrum, I think, in some form or another. Um, so like, just bear with me and yeah. So and I was just thinking, like, have I got like a presentation like Versus had and Threefold? I thought, oh, it'd be great bit presentation together. And I remember I made one years ago. I just found it while you was talking, like my archives, like an old Next Gen Software Arrow like PowerPoint slides that I made. It's quite a few years old now. It's a bit outdated, but I could like share that and like just not just it's a link to it on my website, so if people want to see it on the website, they can look at it properly. So just like Threefold, I'll be like just skimming through it, like so you can read it properly, like offline basically or online, you know. Another time I'm not talking. And by the way, where I was going with it, because I'm on the spectrum, communication, especially verbal, isn't my strong point, so you have to bear with me. And I had no practice whatsoever, and this is a presentation that I haven't even read like for 5 years, so just bear all this in mind. This is very like just in the flow, and I'm just going to speak from my heart really. Like I found that the best way, because I've done some public talking with our company, Yoga for Autism, because I found yoga meditation is what helped turn my life around, because I basically struggled with autism my whole life, and I was on like medication, antidepressants, sleeping tablets, anti-anxiety tablets. So this drugged me up. You know, I was in the system basically before I was awakened. Glastonbury in Avalon, 12, 12, 12, the heart chakra of Gaia. So it's a nice place to have my awakening. And then I created Yoga for Autism in 2013 when I got off all the drugs and medication, and I started doing yoga, and then that just completely transformed my life, and I just felt a billion times better than I ever felt when I was on medication, because that just turned into like a zombie, into a robot. I was just like, yeah, I didn't feel depressed anymore, but I didn't feel alive. I just felt like a hollow shell, just like a numb. This numbs you, and it's not the answer really. It cuts you off on your like your soul and your heart and your essence really. I think that's the whole point of it. Um, yeah, so my background is so similar to Raymond's. When Raymond did the protocol love thing, when he was talking about his like story, and it was so similar. Like I got programming on a 8 on a ZX Spectrum, and I like then I had an Amiga, and then I had a PC. Built my first PC at 12, and I always feel like, because of the autism, I was always great with Lego. I love Lego and computers, because I remember trying to sleep when I was like 5 years old, and like I had my dad's dot matrix printer. Remember that, like printing along, and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, what's that? And then my dad was like programming on a Spectrum with like some guy in France, like some pair programming, like, you know, copying out the code out of a Spectrum magazine. Like fascinated by that, because then he got me a Spectrum at 8, and like I played games in it with my brother, but I was more interested in how things work rather than I'm just gonna put this other screen on so I can see you guys. Hang on a minute. Yes, but yeah, so I was like more interested in how things work. So I was just wanted to make the screen flash different colors and draw different lines in it, and that's why I got into programming. And Lego was also got me really creative as well. So I used to build the things in sets, but then I was more interested in building my own things, and I build like my mum would tell you, my whole used to do a heading, because they bought me loads of Lego, and the floor was just covered in Lego all the time. So always walking on Lego, and I used to build entire cities. Like I built like entire like spaceships and cities, and had a whole like I was in my own imagination and my own story land. Like I couldn't fit in the school. I was bored. I had a lot really hard time in schools. I was bored a lot, and so I was a social recluse, and I couldn't talk. I couldn't speak. I had a really severe stutter, and obviously all the bullying made me even more introverted. So I just shut down. But then my escape was Lego. And then it was computers later on. So that's probably what I got into programming, because I was like, oh, I found something I'm good at. And it was just like, and then later on I found it's part of my path, because that was why I was here, like to build the races basically. So if you read the Ready Player One book, you watch the films, great, but if you read the book, like it describes my life, James Halliday's life, like how he grew up in the 1980s, and he had autism like me, and he struggled to fit in, and he's in Dungeons and Dragons playing RMD with his friends, like I was doing as well, and then Shadowrun and Magic the Gathering cards. I was also into fantasy and sci-fi and computers, but I just couldn't handle social relationships and women petrified me. Like I had people come, I remember my sons would come up to me and ask me to dance at a school dance, and I'd just run away and go home. It's just like I had a massive social anxiety, and I just freak out. I was like, oh, the girl's talking to me, and they're like goblins to me then. And it's just like, I've come a long way. I'm still working on trying to be on this planet. It's been very difficult to ground. And that's where the yoga, the real turning point is yoga, and going to university. Yes, when I started coming out my shell, and I learned to talk, and then I started my career, and I found, oh, I'm good at something, and I got like a first class honours degree, and I was got top of my class, and I thought, oh, I found something good at, because up to that point my self-esteem was rock bottom, and I was just like couldn't just didn't believe in myself. I was so depressed all the time. But then I found something I was good at, so that was an anchor point for me to build on. And then I just focused on my computing degree career. Then I went from Nokia and Microsoft, all the big names, and then I used to get so frustrated because I thought everyone else was really slow. And I was like, why aren't you getting this? And I realized it's not them slow, it was just me. My brain was running a lot faster. And I was like, oh, it's not you. It's so frustrated. People thought everything was stupid. I was like, why aren't you getting this? And like it's obvious. And I was sitting in meetings and like planning stuff. And there's still like really social anxiety then. And I wouldn't say anything. And then like I thought, it's obvious, I see the answer straight away is the problem. And it's been weeks and weeks and months like having those meetings. And then they come up with like something that isn't as good as what I had in my head like months ago. And I was like, I should have just said, like, I didn't want people to laugh at me, because people always laugh at me. And I have so much fear of talking socially. So I just like don't talk. I just sit in the meetings and never talk anything. And then I went for Nokia, and they said I was the best contract they've seen. And I remembered I just like was learning like the smartphone, the Windows phone. And I never like seen a Windows phone before. I never had a smartphone. And I remember I just spent weekend looking at the API, and I just downloaded the tutorials, did all the, and because the autism, I remember everything, it just stores in your head. And then I had a phone interview. I was the only one taking on the phone interview. Everyone else had a second face-to-face, and I went there, and I knew more about their phone than Nokia did. I was there, and the chief architects of Nokia were asking me how to program Windows Phone after like a week of being there. And I was like, okay, so I'm a bit different then. And that's what I started realizing. And then do you know what happened? They fired me because I made everything else look bad. And they kept telling me to slow down. They're going, you're doing too much work. The boss actually called me aside and goes, can you slow down? You're doing too much work and you're making everyone else look bad. And I was like, but I'm meant to be doing, because you guys, there must be bugs in your code. You got to take time. You got to take time and quality assure it more. And all my stuff flew through the best, like no bugs found. The quality assurance couldn't find anything wrong with it. And then he just got egg on his face, and he wasn't a very nice man, and he just like fired me. And I was like, all right. And that's when I started creating my own company. I was like, right, I'm not working for anyone else anymore, because I can't fit in. I'm a team player. I love people, but I just like, unfortunately, people like come, for some of you probably the same as me, from a corporate background, and it's dog eat dog world and politics and backstabbing, and has so much people like sabotaging behind the scenes. So let's say one thing to my face, I got my back, like a guy in Nokia says he's got my back, and then he betrayed me. And that's why I started learning that you can't trust anyone in the corporate world, and it's just horrible. And I just love doing my job, and I always had a passion. I'm always very open. I didn't keep knowledge to myself, and I was always very loving and too trusting. And people took advantage of my kind nature, and then like play games. And then I got fired a couple contracts, not because of my productivity, just because they knew how to play the game, and I didn't know how to play the game. And I just like, and I just then have an awakening, and I realized that, that's why I'm not with my people. Like now I'm with my tribe, I'm with my people. But then I was just like in a really hostile, fear-based corporate world. I was working with like KPMG and HSBC, like in London. And I was writing in like the Canary Wharf, you know, like the Isle of Dogs, you know, that's like the Heart of Darkness, like white with Barclays and very dark energy. And that's probably why I was sent there to like trying to transmute it. And it was like very, I enjoyed like getting a name on my CV, I guess, but other than that, it was horrible. It was just really like dog eat dog world. And anyways, that's a bit about my background. And then I had my awakening 12, and then I had all these downloads in 2013 for Our World, Yoga for Autism. And then that's when my life started transforming, and I then started doing like a public talking for Yoga for Autism. And basically, I'll just say briefly, like I remember the other night, like part of my download was I created a training course to help people with autism, to like give them free training, and then to make apps and games, then help build Our World. But that's how I'm going to get all the people. You know, I'm struggling to find developers. And I got a download again the other day, and I remembered at 4 in the morning. I was like, oh my God, that was my original
thing I got in 2013. That's how I find a developer. It's just a training course because it's like open to everyone, and it's a domain called yoursecondchance.icu. So I see you, like I feel you, I see you, I haven't forgotten you. Like it's the people of the world forgotten and like turn it back on, like the disabled, the homeless, prison inmates, kids on the streets, drug addicts. That's what I made the course for. It's because some of them are like genius programmers, and I just need someone to give them a chance. And just to teach him. So that's what I'm going to start doing again. So you see me start to push that again soon. That's how I think I'm going to find the developers. I'm feeling it because everything else isn't working. Like I'm struggling at the funding. I'm trying to offer people cryptocurrency, equity, and no one's like wanting to like come on board. So I'm just like, I think it's because the training course is the way it's got to be. Like I've got to like open up again. Originally it was for autism, but it's I think it's kind of like, yeah, and especially now with the COVID-19, the lockdown, and everyone else is at home, like, and then recession. So I think it's a perfect time. So like this, you said, this COVID-19 is actually, it's challenging, but it's also a golden opportunity for us, like to build the solutions and to like shine the light for people to see and give them hope again. This is why like the whole Superman thing, this symbol means hope. It's to shine that hope thing. So I'm getting back into my essence, who I really am, back into my 2013 me, when I was just like really happy, very super positive, and always just full of light and hope. And I was 98% of the time always happy. I didn't have like dips in that. But the last the last year it's just been relentless. It's been ridiculous because it's always darkest for the dawn. So I just think it's just been scraping the bottom of the barrel and really healing some childhood traumas and things. And yeah, I'm sorry, like I said, I'm not very good at this presenting things. So hoping that I do my best. And I just see Lumi's like I like it. Like the Justice League's here today. She's got Superman and Batman on the call, so that's great. And I think we're all superheroes, really. We've got to find our inner hero, and that's one day I'm going to write a book called The Superhero's Journey, because it's the hero's journey, and I want to write the superhero's journey, and that's going to be my autobiography, basically, about my life story, about basically what I've been talking about, but a bit more detail, everything I've been through, because it's quite a lot more darkness to what I've been through. But like we all got our stories like that. I think most Starseeds, like we've all been through some serious shit basically to get to where we are. So I think that's enough about me. I think I don't know. I hope it's right. I don't really know how this format works, so I'm trying not to talk too much. But basically, I have got a presentation, so I could do a screen share of that if that's helpful, and then just briefly. And by the way, this is the first time I've done this, so I'm gonna have to work out. It's quite embarrassing, a techie. I know the program, but I've never done a screen share on Zoom before, and I haven't even done a PowerPoint presentation like before. So I'm just gonna see what happens.
That's perfect. Just so you know, a lot of us are like that. So we go between the people that super are ready and those of us who are still getting ready. We're all of us. So welcome. Thank you for your story. Love to hear it, and thank you.
Is that working? So can you see that? Yeah, you can see.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna like I said, you can look at this properly offline. So I'm just gonna briefly just touch on it because it's better talk from the heart. That's what I learned when I was in the Yoga for Autism presentations. Like when I used to read from the script, it was just like a robot, like you're talking from your head. Then it's better just to talk from your heart and let it flow, I find, rather than trying to read everything that's on the screen. But basically, yeah, you know what the problem is. This is for investors, by the way. Just bear in mind, this wasn't. I got to do a new one, which is more geared towards our tribe. Like, got to update it. Remember, this is out of date. But yeah, you already know there's a big problem in the world. So I wrote this 5 years ago, and now it's even more true. Like the ticking time bomb we're in. It's just so yeah. So hopefully, we know we need to find a solution to the problem. So. And basically, I think the solution is like, if technology is like, people say it's bad, but I think it's the way we use technology. Technology is not good or evil. It's just the way we're using it and the intention behind it. Like, unfortunately, Google's and Facebook's and big tech's intention is about profits, social engineering, censorship, and much darker agendas as well. People are aware of some of the things they're up to. So it's just the way we use it. And I think we've got a moral and social responsibility to use technology for good. And rather than evil, basically, and that's why I left the evil circles in London and the corporate world, and then I started like working on this stuff. I think some of us are pretty aware of our world, but basically, trying to summarize something. It's like, this is why, like, if you know Brett and Andrew, like, I think most of you do, and we all download different parts of the same thing, really. Like the Infinite World game
Bretminster Fuller. Like that is all part of the same thing. That another name for it is Our World. It's all part of the same thing. A game. It's like gamifying the world, because it's not, Our World isn't just a game. It's a platform. It's a gamifying the world, like a real-time simulation of the world, to teach people how to create a better world and live in harmony with each other, like with the planet, nature, animals, and to put our differences aside and work together as one. And then we can create a better world. It's basically an ascension training platform, you know. So that's basically the summary of it, the strapline. I'm getting better at summarizing. And it's much more like I say, you've seen Ready Player One in the Oasis. That's what it is. It's a fully unified, integrated experience. It's not have all these apps and different operating systems. It's just one login, one central portal, and you've got like the smartphone version, which is like a geolocation game, bit like Pokemon Go, but much more evolved. And I had downloads of this before Pokemon Go come out. Like I saw this before. I mean, one day I was like in the bathroom or something, and my girlfriend at the time came in and goes, they're making your game kind of got talking about my game. And then Pokemon Go was released, and she said, oh, is this what you've been talking about? I looked at it, I was like, ah, interesting, caveman, but nice try. You say archaic, but you're on the right path. It's because, like, you know, most of us started with visions, we see the future. And so the smartphone version is like a Google Maps, Google Earth replacement, like a decentralized, distributed version of it, because it's built on Holochain, which most of you probably know, which is a decentralized distributed architecture. So it's like a crowdsourced version of that. And then you can do quests, and it's about getting people out into parks and into nature. And basically, I target originally because I wanted to get kids out and teenagers, you know, out of the bedrooms. You know, they're all glued to their phones, and you can't get them off their phones. So you have to reach them through technology. We're in a digital age, so the answer isn't just to like run away and like live in the field like most hippies want to do. And I'm half hippie, half geek, so I love that. I love festivals. I love like sitting around a campfire, singing Kumbaya and strumming a guitar. But like, it's not going to really solve the world, is it? Like escaping. That's what the Ready Player One was. It's this dystopia because we're all escaping either to a field or into a VR. Now we've got to use technology to create a better world, and that's what we all like on the same page with, I think. So that's what the smartphone version's geared to, get people out of the bedrooms into nature, like doing quests. So you go into, so basically on a map it will say like, here, you know, there's a quest in your local park. You go to the park, and then like you look for your phone, and then augmented reality will happen, and you look at a tree, and the tree will come alive and start talking to you, and it will say like, oh, how are you? And I lost my acorn children. Can you help find them? And then you go on like a little mini treasure hunt around that park or another park, and you do like a quest with your friends and family, and then you can do like, so it's encouraging like teamwork and creativity, leadership skills, and it's basically getting people to do fun things in parks. It's all about getting people into nature in gamified ways. Yeah, you're still using technology a little bit, but at least you're using it in a park rather than in your bedroom, not lying in the bed, not getting any sunshine, and you're not grounding. And then you can look for your phone, and you get like a holographic overlay of sacred geometry, like a mandala, and then you can build that with twigs and stones. So it basically turns everyone to light workers. You get everyone building sacred geometry and mandalas all around the world, and it's going to be raising the vibration of the planet about people realizing it. And you have things like dark towers, which are 5G towers, and use orgonite to transmute them into light towers. So it's basically it's a light worker training platform and recruitment platform, an ascension training platform disguised as a fun gamified game, like a World of Warcraft alternative. But later on, when you level up in the game, because that's the next part what I'm saying, you gain karma with doing good deeds, and when you progress in the game, and then you gain special powers and superpowers. You can fly and you can teleport. And you get telekinesis. It's incentive to keep raising your karma level, and karma is teaching people to be good in the world. And when you get to a certain level, then you unlock like the Temple of Truth, and you go into the Temple of Truth, and it reveals to you, by the way, all this game is real. Everything you've been learning, these lessons, is actually a simulation of the universe. And then you get the boom, the download, and you have like a guru comes to you, your higher self comes to you, which is the AI in the game, and it says, by the way, I'm your higher self, and I've been preparing you for this moment. Now I'm talking about it, I'm still getting downloads. When I talk about it, I'm still getting more and more, because this isn't my project. I'm just channeling it, and I'm more I talk about it, the more I see of it, and more we anchor it, the more comes to me. And sometimes when I see bits, I'm like, holy you know, this is gonna freaking blow. This is gonna change everything. When you can, Lumi gets the downloads, so hopefully you guys will start seeing it more and more. When you get it, you know when you get it, because you'll just be like, you won't be able to breathe. You'll be like, oh my God. You're just being pure ecstasy, like bouncing off the walls. That's when you get the download of Our World, when you see what it's gonna do to the planet. But Our World isn't mine. Like I said, I'm just a seeder of it, because now this is the fun part. Everything plugs into Our World, because you have like satellite apps and games to plug into it through the Oasis API, which is what connects everything to everything. And that's basically like a way of sharing like your essential avatar and karma system with like apps and games, like websites, games, apps, and like say like a mindfulness app or meditation app, or you know, anything like self-help app, or say. So as you progress for the app, you gain karma as you improving yourself. Or it could be like a volunteering app for charity, or it could be planting a tree in the rainforest, or maybe you buy a smoothie, like a green smoothie from Pret instead of the can of Coke, and you scan that Pret green smoothie into the game, and your digital avatar. This is the crystal tree, by the way, the same thing. It's that like threefold. He's getting the same downloads as me. Like it's a digital tree, and you drink that smoothie in the game, and it's plus 10 health. Or you scan in an amulet, you know, an orgonite or a heart quartz crystal, a real life one. You put around you, you scan into the game, and then your avatar puts on the amulet, and you got plus 20 health, or your health bar generates plus 10 points. Like it's real life, infinite reality. It's not XR, it's IR, it's infinite reality. That's what IR is, and Brett's got part of that download too. So we all get the same downloads. We're like looking at the same mountain, but we're looking at it for different sides. That's what it is. Like we all get in different parts, and this is what we're all synergizing. And that's why I love like connecting with you guys the last few years. I'm like, oh my God, you're seeing it. You're just seeing different parts of it. And Our World is the container that plugs everything together. It's the thing, the Oasis. Like you've seen Ready Player One. It's not like 10 platforms. It's one platform, and many. It's a magic verse. I like Lumi's thing. Magic verse is what it is. It's a massive magic verse, and you've got portal popping. So you're getting it, and you jump to different portals, like in Ready Player One, and that's how you get to the Infinite World game zone, and you get to the Exa game zone, and then you get to Ozone zone. Well, I like Ozone Zone. That's quite a nice ring to it. And then you know, so it's like you've got all these different like parts. You see Ready Player One, you know what I'm talking about. You see when he's flying through the portals, he's flying through the universes. That's what it is, jumping from universe to universe. And that Our World is the container for that. And reason it's called Our World, not like our Omniverse or something. It's because we've got to take responsibility for our world first. We've got to like together we can create a better world, because like we can't go off like everyone's escaping to different planets and fly through the universe, which is great, but we've got to take responsibility and heal and sort this world out first, because we can't go off and meet in other races and explore until we got our shit together. Sorry for my French, you know, we've got to like sort this planet out first. We can't be running away from our problems. We have to take care of our planet. So every single beautiful person on this planet is it's part of Our World. It's part of the Our World team. That's why it's called Our World. So it's not my project. That's why I put mine in brackets. It's our project, and I just brought this name forward. That's where it comes from. But there's many different names for the same thing. And basically the Oasis API I touched on briefly is also a way to like, that's the data layer of Our World, and that's how it gets everything to talk to everything else. So like Threefold, Holochain, Ethereum, EOS, IO, you know, all the blockchains, IPFS, ActivityPub, Scuttlebutt, there's tons, all these different protocols. Like, this is the thing, everyone's building these different protocols and platforms and trying to compete with each other. They're always like, I gotta build this one, I got the higher throughput, I gotta build this one. It's all exclusive and like separation consciousness. It's not unity consciousness, and that's what I'm building. It's unity consciousness expressed through the technical sphere. That's how you summarize it, because it's about bridging everything together into one unified platform. Like that's what I saw. I thought, I don't want to build something to compete. I want to include everything. Everyone has a part to play. Everything has pros and cons, and that's why. And now I'm getting more downloads of the Oasis API. The first bit I've been building the last couple of years is just plugging all the providers in. Now that's been built, they've got EOS IO built, we've got Holochain built, Ethereum's being built now, Threefold's about to be built, and there's many more being built soon. And now I'm starting to build the layer on top of it, the magic bit. So basically, and it's a way of getting too technical, of like sharding your data across the entire internet. So if even like one of the networks goes down, because it's replicated across all the networks, the Raspberry Pi and anything built on it, like will never go down. The only way it go down is you have to like blow up the world. Literally, and if you blow up the world, like I said, if that goes down, then you got more problems than the internet, like to worry about. So like it's like it'll never be zero downtime. It can never be like service denial attacks. It's invulnerable to anything, and that's why, because it's connecting everything to everything. So like it automatically. Also, it looks at the latency as well within different networks. So one's running slow, it automatically switch to another network to stream your data from. So this is just some of the benefits when you connect the dots, when you connect the nodes, when you're not separate in your own little silo. If your silo blows up, you've got no backup. But if you're like connected to every silo, then you can bridge between them. That's as many, you know, I don't need to preach about Unity consciousness. You know the benefits of it, and this is just the benefits of it in a technical way of doing things. Yeah, so that's basically. As I said, I've gone off script again. Like I can't. It's hard. I just talk from the heart. It's just flowing out of me as I'm talking, and it's hard to like follow a script for me. But basically, and also in our world, like it's like a bit like Minecraft. Like you can build anything you want, imagination. So like you can. This is on a smartphone. So on the desktop console version, it's a virtual reality version that's going to come out after the smartphone version, which is what I've been working on for the last like few years. And then in the virtual reality version, on the console version, you can build anything you want, and you can play it anywhere you like. But like if you're selfish and you like just build your house on your own, then when the storms come or the rats or monsters come, like you have no one to help you. So like when it just teaches you about Unity consciousness and karma, and when you work together as a team, then you can like achieve, you're much safer, and you can level up in the game much faster. And you can be anything you want. You can be a fisherman, you can be like a researcher or anything else, but there's no violence in the game. There's no like player on player violence, and there's no player versus extraterrestrial violence, obviously for obvious reasons, because we've got to get away from this ETs are bad, because you know where we're going, like, you know, people got a rude awakening soon, because most of us know Starseed, so most of us, we're all ETs, so none of us are here anyway, so like we've got to get over this, like being afraid of what's out there. But I had to put in just temporarily some combat just to pull people out of World of Warcraft and GTA, because all the kids are playing these violent games, like these games in Call of Duty, and I wonder why there's so much violence in the world, because you know they're created as training platforms for the military, and so the top people in these games, Call of Duty, are recruited. They get knocked on the door for the military and they recruit them, and same with the flight simulator games, the recruitments for the Air Force. So these games are created for that. You know, at least the flight simulator isn't as bad, but like Call of Duty and the graphics getting more and more realistic, and you've got like 7-year-olds and stuff, 5-year-olds playing these games. I mean, and you think it's not affecting them. It is affecting them. It's conditioning them to violence. And then imagine when it goes virtual reality, which is going to be, and then you've got a 5-year-old immersed in like life graphics, like with blood and guts spewing across their faces. And like, can you imagine that? Like, that's what I saw. I saw a vision of that dark future. And that's why I thought, we've got to change this. We've got to use VR to bring people together and teach the kids the right life lessons, because they're the future leaders of the world. And that's my biggest incentive, because I have a daughter as well, like a 10-year-old daughter, and I want to create a better world for her to grow up in. I don't want her playing all these violent games, like, but just temporarily I had to put in, like, you fight, sometimes you have like the Dark AI, which is like Skynet, and like it has the killer robots like sends to attack your villages and things, and you have like zombies and monsters. But not in a scary way, kind of in a more cartoony kind of like way. I'm still working on how to work that part out. But that's just to get the people out of the games that are really violent, and then we can slowly teach them that violence isn't the way, and once you raise the vibration in the game and you level up, then you transmute the darkness, and then basically the Dark AI and monsters and zombies just go away. Like you rise above them, you come a vibration when you don't even match the darkness, and then we all send. So in the game, the whole point in the game is to send the planet. And it's a collective vibration bar. You've got your individual vibration, which is linked to your karma and your level, and you've got the collective vibration, and you emanate your aura and your field. You can see people's auras in the game, and this is when it touches into Soulfree API. You can see people's auras and their real-time emotions. So the real-time emotions on their face will look like that. So if they're sad and angry in the game, in real life, I mean, you'll see it in the game, and you go and hug them. in the game, have you got, especially got like a haptics feedback suit on, if you've seen Ready Player One, you know what I'm talking about, then they'll get that hug in real life, and then you gain karma, that kind of thing. So then, and then you level up. There's so many possibilities. I'm only giving you little examples of what's possible. I've got a very big imagination. My imagination is just pulling in the information, galactic information. That's all it is. It's alchemy and information. And if you want to know this, and angels and Ascended Masters working to me, it's got alchemy energy and angelic light codes, and it actually rewrites your DNA and upgrades your consciousness while you're playing the game. So it's much more than just a 3D game. It's actually upgrading the consciousness. So to get them off the other games, over time, just being in our old energy will transmute them in real life while they're playing it. It will actually reprogram not only the minds, undo all the brainwashing, it will actually start rewriting the DNA and level them up. It's mental, and it's not mine. It's just like when I see this stuff and I'm like, oh my God, it's like, and that's what it is, as a summary. So that's the one slide. So there's basically other slides, but basically I think it just goes on. This just talks about what I've been talking about, so I probably won't. I'm just going to skim through this now. Sorry, I'm not good at following scripts. I just flow from my heart. But I think basically it's just saying the same kind of things. And this is all on the website anyway, so like you guys can go off and have a look at, you know, you want more information about it. Like it's the first AAA massive multiplayer online game, like, and 2D social network. It's an app store, and it's, like I said, bridging everything. So it's like a technical. It's the first time technology has been used at this level, and like it uses like EEG headbands and Mohan's Sophie API, the harmonic heart coherence. All this stuff is built into it, and many more stuff, and you know, biofeedback. Just because I need to know how to feel. It's not like, it's a fine line about like using invasive technology like transhumanism, like the dark and the light mirror each other. So like they want to turn us into cyborgs and implant us with technology and plug us into the hive mind, turn us into the Borg basically. But I want to use that technology, not plugging it into us, but just to feedback the emotions and to level you up and use it to look at your chakras and work out what you need to work on, like, and integrate gene keys and human design into it. And then you can, yeah, Mark and know Chris Larkin, me and Chris took some serious, crazy downloads we had in Bali about how we can integrate gene keys and NewMap and HoloWeb and our world, and he got the downloads as well. And I'm not actually, Chris didn't get it to start off with, but we had a medicine session once, and that's how we found how we managed to like synergize and get a heart coherence going. And he got the download, and when he got the download of our world properly, he was literally jumping up and down. He goes, "This is the event, this is the event, this is the event." He's got, "This is it," and he's like literally climbing the wall. So like, yeah, you got it. That's when you know you got it. When you got the download, you literally were bouncing up and down. You'll be like bing, bing, bing across the walls, because the energy of it is so freaking intense, because it's pure ecstasy. When you get the download, it's just orgasmic ecstasy. That's when you know you're on the right. So it's like this is channeled from a very high vibration, from higher angelic realms, and that's where it's coming from. So that's when you get that feeling. When you get it, you feel the feeling. You know, that's how it works, the energy. Hope I'm making sense. This is probably the best I've ever described it, by the way. So glad we're recording this call, right? Because this is probably not bad for me, because normally I'm not so good at like trying to explain it. This is one of my CDs, you call it. Is it on Gene Keys? Like one of my challenges is communication. So. And this is basically what I've already talked about. The smartphone version and the iWorld version, I mean the console version, again the world first. They all you can see the same players. It's billions of players in the same world. Because right now you struggle to have so many players like Ozone will know. It's only so many players you can have in the same world. So you've got a low polygon count. No, you don't need to do that. You can have real-time, lifetime graphics using Holochain. And everybody's telling me, you can't do it, you can't do it. Holochain's not for real-time. Oh, you can. I got a download for that. It's because like you can like what. I won't go too technical, but basically I got a download like Holochain is distributed, but it has node-to-node messaging. So like when all you got to do is look at people in your area who feel the site, people near you, and all the people near you. Then you do node-to-node messaging. So like you don't have to have billions of players communicating at the same time. So only people in real life. Like when you're in real life, you don't have billions of people like sharing data at the same time, do you? You ain't interacting with people in your area. So that's how you can have infinite players, and literally you can have many players. The technology will support infinite players like logged in at the same time because of Holochain. But Holochain can't see that yet. They think it's not possible. They think it's all like disconnected transactions. No, you can use that decentralized distributed processing to have infinite players. Sorry, I'm going off the script. I get very excited when it's stuff because it's going to really blow. It's just going to change everything when this stuff comes out. And if you read the book, please, I really implore you, if you haven't read the book, please read Ready Player One. It describes what I'm talking about. The architecture of our world is in there. Holochain is in Ready Player One book. He doesn't even know that the guy and his client, I want to meet him. He downloaded all this stuff. He downloaded this stuff and he wrote the book. And it talks about James Halliday, which is about me, the autistic person, and everything he did. And he created a company the same time I created my company in 2010. And he released Oasis in 2025, which is the timeline I'm on to release Oasis. It's mental. And it just goes on and on. It's a prophecy. It's not sci-fi. And it talks about the architecture of how having this decentralized distributed architecture, and everyone has this console that it runs on. And I'm going to build hardware that heals you. It has orgonite and healing crystals and frequencies. So like, not only does it not kill you like EMF does now, it emits healing frequencies and never needs charging because it runs off 0-point energy. And you have every house will have this device in your house that powers your house and runs the Oasis. And it's distributed processing power. So infinite processing, never get lag, never get slowed down. Like that's what Holochain is enabling. If you know Holochain architecture, that's how it works. Sharing the Holofuel is just phase one. Because I see version 100 of Holochain. That's what I see where Holochain is going in 10 years. And that's what I'm building. I'm trying to build. I'm building what comes after Holochain. Because Holochain is what comes after blockchain, and our world's what comes after Holochain. Like what's built on top of it. Sorry, I haven't lost you. I know it's a lot of information to try to absorb in one go. And lucky you probably can like play this back in slow motion after and watch it a few times because it's. I know it's a lot to take in. I've had years to download all this, and this is a video you can watch online as well. I'll just skip this. How did you skip? Yeah, next. I know, like, I'm not sure I'm doing it for time, so I'm just going to quickly skip through, and then you guys can ask questions, I guess. That's probably a good format to do. Yeah, I think I have to try and figure out how to come out of this. It wants to play the video for some reason, but I don't want to play it. This video is on the website, by the way. How do you like just like skip a slide? Unfortunately, it's in YouTube mode now, so that's great. Like I said, I haven't rehearsed, so this is just like me trying to work out how to use my computer. There we go. Yeah, and then can you start again from here? From current slide, there we go. And that's just basically what I'm talking about. It connects everything. Magic Leap's also the future, by the way. People like slanted it, but if you look at Ready Player One, right? What's it have? It has a laser that projects into the eyes. That's the future. Because I tried VR headsets. I'm sorry, I get a headache and vertigo and migraines. So I can't use it because having a screen, that energy in your brain is like not good for you anyway, and especially if wireless, it's really not good. And that's what Facebook and Google counting on. It's another way of giving you brain tumors. So it's really not good technology. Magic Leap's the way forward. That's how it's going to work. So I'm really excited about that. These are just, again, like blockchain. These are just stepping stones to get us there. These are just all the stuff we're talking about. Connect. Oh yeah, you have real-time emotional, like facial eye tracking, facial recognition. Get people doing yoga, meditation, because you have like voice recognition. So you do like yoga and mudras, and you start doing like energy work and call. You gotta call light to myself now, and I ground myself into Gaia now. There are commands in our world to like create magic spells. Magic spells are actually real affirmations you say out loud in real life, so it hears you, and your avatar responds to it. And guess what? In real life, you get the same response. So you're calling light to yourself, and you're grounding yourself in real life, and they don't even realize it. So basically, they're doing spiritual practices without them realizing it. That's why it's like spirituality through the back door, because you're not going to get them to do it through the front door. So you got to get them doing it like through, yeah, that way. And I've already talked about this basically. You can read more on this after, and how it plugs everything together.
Yeah, covered most of that. Oh God, sorry. Another video. This is just to stop people falling asleep. Like we can watch videos if we like, but I don't think we've got time really. They're only little clips, but it's just for investors. I know I talk a lot and there's a lot of text, and so I did learn for feedback, have pictures and videos. That's why I just chucked them in there, stuff on my website. Yeah, like everything, open source, open community project. Like I said, you can check out the GitHub repo here. Currently building .NET HTK. So basically right now the problem with Holochain, it's like you got to learn Rust and it's really technical. Even for me, like it's very low level. It's like to me, it's like doing assembly. Sometimes it's like, it's a lot to try to like learn, but .NET C# is so much easier. And I'm building a 4th generation, 5th generation layer on top of it, which basically means anyone can build an HApp now. I nearly finished the prototype. So literally, you create the objects what you want, you say the relationship with it, and it'll scaffold and build your whole HApp Holochain application from that, and then it'll generate all the Rust code and WebAssembly from there. And I just built that in the last week, and then that's going to revolutionize Holochain. So hopefully Art's going to help support me now, because that's going to like revolutionize Holochain. And then I'm going to build the ODK, which is the Oasis developer kit, which is going to bridge on top of that and allow people to like then talk to Ethereum, EOS, and you can call like a EOS or Ethereum smart contract from Holochain and vice versa. You know, I've got all these silos, and the smart contracts can't break out the silo. So that's the whole point of that. So all the other stuff I've already said. That's really old, but that's 5 years. I haven't updated these slides. Yeah, like I said, Karma has to be baked into the new Web 3.0. It's such a core part. And I've read this amazing book. I don't even know Magenta Pixie. I'm a big fan of Magenta Pixie. She channels the thing, The Right Wing Collective Conscious of Nine. I don't know if you can see this book. Can you see it? This book's really good. It's like the lessons of Lemuria, and it talks about karma. And those guys, they come through for me, and now actually turns out that 2 of my guys are these guys. The right wing people she channels, they're my guys as well. Huh, what do you know? No wonder resonated. And that's where the karma system came from. They've been probably giving me the karma system from Lemuria. And it says in that book, it says, the greatest teacher in your 3D reality is karma. I was like, boom. I showed that screenshot to Lumi. And it's on my Telegram group, and I was like, oh my god, like karma is so important. And that marries up with Protocol Love, because that's part of the same thing. Protocol Love is part of the karma system. It's about open transparency and love, and karma, which is love in action. And that's why I'm working with Raymond now, and we're synergizing our parts and that. So we're breaking out our silos, and the magic's happening. Yeah, I like the twinkles. They do a lot of Holochain with the twinkles, so I like how it's spreading. And I think I've already talked about most of this. Yeah, this is just screenshots of like of the kind of the graphics you're kind of get in the game, and this is from like 5 years ago. The CryEngine and Unreal Engine, you can do amazing things, but the Unity engine's catching up fast, so it's probably going to be in the Unity engine now. I got a feeling it's going to be the Unity engine, because ray tracing's just been added. And look at the name, Unity. And I was all about Unity consciousness, so I think it says it all, doesn't it, really, what engine it's going to be built on. So, and it's bigger support. This is, again, an old diagram. I've got to update it, but Techie's going to have a look at that later on. But this is just basically, I don't know, do you know when I created this diagram? Do you know when I created this? When I was waiting to watch the Ready Player One film, I was in the cinema lobby, and I was getting downloads of the races, and I was drawing, and I drew this, and I got to show you the sketches. I drew this before I went in, and do you know when I started reading the Ready Player One book, like on Easter Sunday, and it's all about Easter eggs. Like James Halliday loves Easter eggs, and I love clues, and I used to love doing little clues for Easter hunt, treasure hunts with my family. I love doing little clues, so that's a James Halliday thing, and I was just like, it just blew my mind. You got to read the book. Ready Player One. The film is amazing, but it's nothing compared to the book. The book has got so much more, and then you understand when you read the book, and and especially Lumi, you'll get it. When you read the book and you know me and you know our world, you'll see me and the book and our world in the book big time. You'll just see it, the downloads in the book. You're like, oh my god, oh, this is all just for investors. I think by now we know it's the future AR and VR. That's a screenshot of the game, the smartphone version. This is like when you're looking at the trees, and oh yeah, and the businesses, oh yeah, the karma in our world isn't money, it's karma. So basically,
instead of like having people buying their way in, and you have virtual spaces, you know, virtual high street in our world, and you have people like billionaires getting the best space and getting the biggest like online malls and shops. No, money isn't accepted here. Money is not welcome. It's karma. So not only have individual karma, your company businesses have collective karma. So like more green you do for the world, the more you treat your staff better, the more you give back to the world, the more you give forward, the more you look after the planet and help charities, the more karma that company gets. And then the bigger building and office you can get in our world, and the bigger like better space you can get. And then like that's a virtual space hire, and you get in-game purchases, and then you have sponsorships. But obviously McDonald's and Burger King aren't going to be allowed in unless they go vegan, but they're getting better. So like, you know, there is a chance of them. But yeah, and there'll be Pret in there, you know. So basically people like Pret and Holland Barrett and stuff can sponsor different things in there, you know. So it's all like people doing good. And I guess most of the light trial would be people doing the sponsorship, I think. And then you've got the like augmented reality. That's another video you can check out later on. And this is like when you're looking for your phone, and this is like London. I think you've seen these videos before. This is all on the website. So how do you do next? Can we do next? Okay, then what's to play it? So that's a bit of that, and then here. And again, this is out of date. So I started this like 2011. So I've been downloading this in 2011. I started getting, and what started was Minecraft. I saw Minecraft and I saw it and I thought, oh my God, it's Lego. It's like Lego. I was like, and I was thinking about building a virtual Lego game for years. I was already thinking about it. I didn't really know, like, you know, I said, oh, it may be a fun, cool thing. And I saw it and I thought, my God, this is great. I said, I like it, but I can do way better than this. And I started building My World. That's the first version. It's called My World. And I started prototyping in XNA, which is an Xbox programming language. It's like built on .NET, C#. And it's like really crap graphics. And I thought, I can't do this on my own. So I started researching engines like Unity, CryEngine. And the more downloads I was getting, like especially in 2013, after my awakening on 12/12/12, my mind was exploded, and I was like, I can't do this on my own. I can't build this on my own. And so I spent all these years like trying to build a website and social networking and building like I got like 5,500 likes on the Facebook page, and then I got like Telegram groups and Twitter, and this is why, like, this is why I'm going to come to. I really need some help because I'm still doing this all on my own. And now I've stopped doing everything apart from coding because I spent too much time trying to talk about it. Because I originally was trying to do it to recruit people and get investment, but it just didn't work. I think it's part of my soul contract, part of my internal building strength and resilience and trust and patience. Like some of you know, like it's been a very hard time for me lately. And it's just been very difficult. And I just always feel like I'm behind schedule, but I got trust and surrender and know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, divine timing. And now it's build time. So if you know anyone who wants to come on board, like it's jobs for everyone, like every single area I need help with basically, but mainly developers, Unity developers, .NET developers, but help with the marketing, the communications, the websites, all that stuff. That's not my strengths. I'm getting better though, so I've got to stop saying that. I'm working on it. It wasn't my strengths, but I'm getting better, and I've proved it to myself. Because the other day I summarized our world on one A4 bit of paper. It used to, for summary. Some people ask me for summary, and I used to send 24-page summary, and because the full thing is like a bit like Lumi's slideshow, it was like that, like I couldn't summarize. I was like, I don't know how to summarize. It's taken me years and years to figure out how to, because Lumi knows how it feels. How can you summarize the infinite into a few slides? It's impossible. But like we've got to try somehow, right? And that's what I'm getting better at. But everyone wants to help, you know, it'd be great. So just putting that out there. So yeah, we're getting there. This is a bit behind schedule again because I'm supposed to release the smartphone alpha release now, and everything went a bit south in Bali because it's great with Chris, and that's on the one bit immigration, a bit of a misunderstanding my visa. I tried to renew my visa and they were closed, and they don't like they like to exploit me for money. I couldn't pay the fine, so then I become a fugitive, and then I was just like, yeah, and then like so. Anyway, so then it was fun, and then I lost my twin flame, and then it was just like a really hard time in there. So and it kind of slowed things down a bit. But I think it's all meant to happen. Like it's all part of the shadow work, part of the journey. And then like now, but the last few months I've been getting focused again and really starting to build. And so this is like an example. This is what Unreal and CryEngine could do years ago. So like we can build life graphics, and this was the Facebook likes I was getting back then. And then yeah, this is boring stuff. You can watch this video of me talking years ago. This is where I had less grey hair. This is when life was easier. This one I was contracting when I had money. So life was easier then. This is before I made the magic leap 2 years ago. And I don't know if you guys had the same thing when the universe says leap and we'll catch you. And like, I don't know, it must be some lesson, but I flower fat on my face, so I must have missed something. Because it was to catch me, and then I've been struggling with money and getting more and more debt. And now, like I said, it's just fun. I'm glad now, because like that meditation at the end really pulled me out of it. And thank you for that. It was so amazing. Because now I'm just laughing at my mind. My ego was getting all fucking like crazy, and like I'm 5 weeks behind schedule, and I'm facing homelessness again, and I got £50 left to eat, and I'm like it's funny, it's hilarious, I'm actually laughing. Like, because it's all part of the training, and like it's just funny. I'm laughing at my ego now. I'm like, oh, it's a joke. And I just got to keep going, and it doesn't matter, and I know it's going to be fine, and all I do is keep coding, and it's all going to work out. And this is the team. What's the team? These are again people coming. These are my friends who come on. Again, people come and then they leave again. So maybe it's part of my inner work. Maybe it's a higher reason. But yeah, I'm a good person. I got a good heart, and I'm a nice guy. But I just don't know how to build teams. I'm working on how to build teams, and I'm working on how to build better communication and how to retain staff. But sadly, still, I think money still talks. You know, like I think that's been the problem. Like when you can't pay people, it's hard to keep them. You know, and people got to support their families. And yeah, this is back when I was like dreaming, like in 5 years' time, we'd be making billions, and like 8 years later, I've still not even built the alpha, right? But you know, like Mark knows, like I struggle with time. Like visionaries, we struggle with time. Being in the third dimension, we don't understand time. So I'm not good at predicting how long it's going to take. It's just, it's done when it's done now. I just build in the flow, like you're saying. And every day I just code without deadlines. And I just like, when it's done, it's done. And universe will keep supporting me when it's done. So
is that another photorealistic video? I mean, picture right there?
Oh, what, before this one?
Yeah.
This one, yeah. Like, this amazing graphics. This was years ago. This was like the CryEngine or Unreal Engine. This is like screenshots I got from it like about 4 or 5 years ago. And now like this is for ray tracing. Now it's ray tracing support. And part of my mission is yoga for autism as well. I'm supposed to lead of autistic people. Like I'm supposed to like lead the light, kind of like hold the light and lead the way. And it's many people like me and Chris, Drew from Plan, Chris Larkham, me. Like we all struggle seriously with health problems and serious problems like being autistic spectrum just means very sensitive soul. Like we all are kind of very sensitive and we're all a bit ND, but we've been like got our asses kicked seriously on this dense planet. And but like there's tons of them out there. As yoga for autism was to be to unlock them all, unlock them to yoga, ground them, free them all, and then give them all free training jobs. And then I'm telling you, like, we can build this stuff. We can build the Oasis in a couple of years. We can build something that Google and Facebook can only dream of, because we're like light years ahead, our gifts and abilities. Because you see what me and Chris can do and Drew on our own, struggling, we're getting smacked over the head with baseball bats, health problems. Like you look at the Oasis code, what I built, it's massive code base. Do you know how much time I spent on that? If you add it up, 3 months. It's been like an hour here, an hour there around my health issues. I only got 2 to 3 hours a day here and there because most of the time I'm meditating, doing inner work and alchemy, and I'm resting and I'm grounding because I just can't sit in the computer for long. I need to rest and just keep clearing stuff. And I'm trying to smooth for the collective. Like you all know, it's very, very challenging right now, the energies, and I'm very sensitive empath. So, so it's very difficult.
David,
so like,
awesome. David.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up the presentation so we can have some questions. I also wanted to share a conscious playground a little bit because that is happening next week.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So that's basically it. So yeah, that's
amazing vision, David. Super cool. I think we can open this up. Do you have one more last thing to say before we open it up to some questions and discussion about this?
No, that's it. That was it. So I hope it had gone too long, and I got Bella really, because that's the best
way I've ever talked about it, and I've never recorded it before. So I needed this. Thank you. So this actually might help me get funding, because I want to update the crowdfunding page, and I've got a Patreon page, and I was about to update them. So this is divine timing. So I'm very grateful to you guys for giving me the space, because now I think I can use this video, because I need to talk about it, because I learned feedback, blocks of text people don't read, but now they can connect to my energy and me as a person, and they can really relate to what I'm trying to bring forward. So thank you. I'm so grateful. I feel so full of love now. Thank you. I love you so much. I was so dark.
Baby, congratulations. Congratulations. Well done, my brother.
I feel
well
Superman
done.
again. I feel like I'm flying again now.
Yes, Superman. Well done.
Well,
I can do it.
Yes. We appreciate all your work, David, and
thank you.
Really cool to hear the vision. Just so you know, this was a part of why Awaken Dream Synergy is started, because I discovered Brett and him through Jeff Lewis and Josh Pasmore. These are people who are in Baja and building real systems and things like that. And anyway, we can talk about all that later, but I would really love to just have us talk about David's Our World. And I specifically have a question, so I'll be first. So considering I did find out about Our World first through Brett, and it's very resonant with things that I've been discussing with other people in regards, the other people are having the same exact vision, David. So maybe we can have some synergy on how this all works. Like that's what I'm seeing, or that's the potential that I'm seeing, because having it all on your back, that's too much. You are a coder, you have got a good talent, but there are already different pods, and how those synergize, that's what we're looking to weave, because there's this group and this group, rather than be competing and have one person create an Our World here and another person create an Our World here, then it's not Our World. So really, like, that's what we've been visioning, and that's why the Awaken Dream Synergy Group, and that's why we really come together. So having it on your back in your company, it might not be that. It might be 5 or 10 companies, 20 companies, global companies coming together to make this happen. So it's about making the protocols and the standards, and bringing the coders like you and your vision alive within other pods that support that. So that's what I'm.
I'm so grateful for like finding you guys, because it's been, like I said, it's like that's why I got problems with my adrenals, which is my lower back, like, and my shoulders and neck. Why? Because I'm literally hiring the world on my shoulders, our world on my shoulders. I'm literally like Superman, like trying to hold. But like you see the Man of Steel film, the Justice League, because you can't save the world on your own. And I knew that, and I was like, I know. And people always say you want to do it on your own. I'm like, no, I've been crying out for a team for 7-8 years, but it wasn't time yet. Like, and my magic number, divine number, is 7. And so my awakening started in 2013. So it's a 7-year cycle. I was meant to be in the fortress of solitude on my own, like doing this stuff, doing the inner work and the alchemy. And now 2020, 7 years later, is when the doors are starting to open. Like now is when with all the heroes are coming together, the Justice League is forming, and now we can all like put a part together. And Arrow's just a container, so. And I'm just so grateful, like. That's why I love the Holochain community. People know the Holochain community, not only you guys, our communities, but the Holochain community. You all got pieces, because I was seeing Holochain and New Map in my visions before I saw New Map and that. And when people were talking about it, and in Holochain and Scepter, I saw this because I was getting the downloads in 2013, and I was like, people were building all the parts of it, and I'm just like the architect, like plugging the Lego together. It's just Lego to me, and all I am is like the super glue, literally the super glue, like putting it all together, the magic super glue that holds it together, and that's what our world is the container. And I've got a few Lego bricks myself, but 99% of the Lego bricks aren't mine. They're like, it's the world's, and so it's just somewhere to put it all together, and that's what the OCCPI and our world facilitates, is a way of plugging it together. So I'm so grateful now, and you guys, and I'm really looking forward to how this unfolds, the synergy, and I just get trusting, like it's so nice when you say we all relate about the homeless and the fear, and we just got to face it. And the key is, this book is the other book that saved my life. I'm a massive fan. This is the key. Like, hang on, can I get it on the screen? So I'm trying to look at where it is. You know, this book, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Like that book, I've read this like 50 times on loop, and now I need to read it again, because that book is just what keeps me going, because it's just been present and just been like Mark said, being awareness, and that's how you cope with being overwhelmed and worried about like where's the next grain of rice going to come from to feed me, and where's the next? We just got to keep coding and just surrendering and being present, and then the universe will take care of it.
Great. Let's open it up to more questions or comments. Mark or Debbie, do you have something you'd like to contribute or ask of David in regards to this?
Well, just thank you. I'm just blown away. Lumi shared something the other day from an Apple developers conference that said, write code, blow minds. And you just blew my mind, David. Thank you for sharing all this. It's incredible. It's so aligned with everything that's, we've all been dreaming of. And I'm so glad to be part of this team. So, it's certainly aligned with several things I'm working on. The Dream Tank SDG game, for which she filed a patent. The Unified Planet game, which is from Lucian Tarnowski. The name I gave to my company called Ascension VR, because I imagined that we would build a game for anxiety, stress, PTSD, and get federal contracts to serve our veterans and their families when they come home. So I love, cool. I use the Lego block analogy too. There's so much code now. If we can just put this together into a user experience and share it with the world, we're right there. We're on the cusp of it. So thank you.
Yeah, we're so close now. I feel it. We are so close. It's coming together.
Wow.
Synergy is happening. Mark?
It won't take another 7 years, David. Don't worry. It's not linear.
God.
It's not linear time anymore. And take a cue from Chris's spiral time. This is going to start accelerating much, much more rapidly, because like Sherry mentioned at the beginning, the city of Gene Key number 5 is timelessness. And in the quantum world, there's no time either. That's what like entanglement is, right? There is no distance matters. It's all non-local. That encompasses everything. So we're going to be moving much, much more rapidly. It doesn't take, long for consciousness to shift. And when people start seeing this and getting this vision at these frequencies, that I know you're stepping them down. The downloads are being stepped down so that others can even hear them. And you did a wonderful job today. Thank you. Thank you for, it comes to what I said at the beginning. If we can create a safe space where people feel like they're not going to be judged for what they've been talking about, then this kind of flow can happen, right? And when it comes through like that, it's just a beautiful thing. And so I would love to try to help you build teams. And I've been tracking you. I've been watching your Telegram groups and seeing your progress, and been watching the HoloChain interfaces. And I've been tracking HoloChain for a while too. And our world has been on my list for the Conscious Cafe for the last couple of years. Just as the biggest jumps in infrastructure and new technologies. And yeah, I've been keeping an eye on you. You're a beautiful being.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice to have, because that's what's been hard for those 7 years. I just felt my message wasn't being received, and I had all these silent people watching me, and I didn't even know. I just, because I share things on my Facebook group, and send stuff out, and it'd be like a tumbleweed. It's been like that for ages. I'm used to it now. I put it out there, and I was like, oh, whatever. I've done at least I tried, but I just carry on going. And my heart was like, just keep going. And I keep thinking it's going to be more historic. So when Oasis comes out, it's more like a history book, so people can look at the history of it. Even though it got no traction back then, but people can look at the history of it going with the tumbleweed in the desert. That's what it is. It was the desert. I come the other day. It is the Oasis in the desert. Like literally, I've been in the desert, like throwing stuff out, and I all get sand in my face, and the tumbleweed blows past me, and there's no water or anything. And eventually, I'm starting to see the Oasis in the distance now, and I'm finally and it's not just me; it's a collective. Like we're in the Syrian High Council talk about the
desert days. That's what we're in now, the desert days. And humanity is now in the desert days, which is the grand tribulation we're in. And now that's what our world is. It's turning our world into the Oasis. That's why the first version is called Our World, and then, which is the smartphone version. And then version 2 is the VR version on console. And version 3 is the Oasis, what you see in Ready Player One. That's why, because by version 3 comes out, we've transformed the world into the Oasis. Ding ding, confirmation. Thank you, universe.
That's right.
Universe. I came to the other day that I was like, that's why it's called the Oasis. I couldn't work out the connection to our world and the Oasis. That's the connection. We're turning our world into the Oasis, and then we're ready to go out into space and connect it to the rest of humanity. Because our world is also an Earth node. It connects. I've got to say, it connects to the Galactic Federation networks, so we can talk to Pleiadian, Sirian systems, with Turians, and Lumi talked about that with the Versus guy. That's what our world is as well. We can have our extraterrestrial friends will have avatars in our world, and we can talk to their systems. So our world is the living library, which is what Gaia is a living library, and it's basically a way of representing that data, you know, in a fractal way. That's why it's built on like holonic technology, fractal technology, like Chris is. That's why we're building the technology so it can interface with the galactic systems. But we're only going to do that when we're ready. We can't connect to their systems until we sorted our own backyard out, and then we can talk to them. So that's it. Yeah, another download there. So.
Well, that's the translation services that will be part of this. This is how we communicate effectively with other dimensions, is that just like we did in the beginning of the internet, right? Where one kind of hardware network couldn't talk to another kind of hardware network. So we had to put in these gateways. And then to get to the data layer, we had to put in bridges. And then we got to the third layer, we had to put in routers. And the way to keep it all connected, all the diversity, to keep it all together, we needed the translation services. Well, now we're just doing the same kind of network building, only we're building out in dimensions. And it's layers of consciousness that we're going to be integrating. And this is a perfect container for it. Thank you again.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for my fans and people who get it. That's what I just need. I just need a few positive, like, encouragement and feedback to keep going. That's all I need. Just every now and then a little lifeline, a little carrot or something, just to keep me going. Because sometimes it just feels like hopelessness, and I'll just get really down and like, oh, is it going to happen? But deep down in my heart and soul, I know it is. It's just got to keep the faith, and I think that the sun is about to rise finally. I feel
it can be more than you imagine, David, because there are multiple people dreaming about this. So you can have a whole people helping you create your piece so that you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. Because Dan Mapes from Versus, this is another reason why Awaken Dream Synergy is made, because I returned to California to hang out with Dan Mapes and a tech person from a very famous game company, the highest tech person. And so he, you know, when we come together as our synergy, then we can start being more and more presentable about how we synergize, how they synergize, how we all synergize together. And so you're saying, Debbie was saying, all we need is a user interface. Well, that's what I do. That's what my teams do. I'm a designer of the look and feel, and I'm the artist of that, and I know how to work and tag into the technology. And I'm also having the same visions. We were having these same talks with some really big people that can help make this happen, that they're doing different parts of it. We've got people who are doing the foundation, Versus calls himself the foundation of the nervous system, or the planet, for interlinking all of this, and Holochain is a part of it, and yes. And then there's League of Legends. I know the tech lead there, and he's very much someone who can hold space for all the technologists. But he's on League of Legends, so whether he wants to work with us or not, but he's talking about the same stuff all the time. That's the conversations we have. Whenever I talk to him, it's all about this stuff. And so it's really, really deep. There's a lot of really deep people having the same download. So how we really intermesh this, it's going to be beautiful. So I hold your beautiful vision, David. Know that you're not alone, and that there are other people that are going to help escort you, especially when you welcome it. You know, when you know that you're not alone in this, and that you know that there's a whole world of people having the same vision, and allowing them to actually hold different parts and pieces of it. And so that you don't have to You can see it, but a lot of people are already building those parts. And so let them have that, and then see, we see how we weave. And that's the beautiful part of it, is that we all have our talents in this space because we've been having similar visions or the same, because we are together and we are working in the dream. And that's why we're awakening to it in the synergy of it. So I really thank you for holding your part, and just remember, tap into the world, imagine the globe, vision it, the earth, see that all the people that are here to connect with you are here, and that they're feeling the same heart, and you can let go of all your stress and know that it's just gonna synergize super beautifully. Just know it, just see it, know it's beautiful. Like, know that we're already working out with our karma and all this kind of stuff. And yes, we can make it a wonderful, beautiful game. That's so what we're all talking about. It's already, but even as a game idea, just having the game idea, it's already helping all of us up level our consciousness. Even before making the game, we're all using it. Like I'm talking to my friends when they're saying things that I'm struggling with discussing with them, and I throw them shadow tokens. I'm like, shadow token, shadow. And it's just a playful thing, it's like, I don't want to be in that level, shadow. So we can even start languaging it amongst ourselves, and that can be a part of the protocols that we do here in Awakened Dream Synergy. Mark and Sherry, who's not here, when we can even have like a languaging system that we're already using, but that can also be designed and developed in our actual system that we're creating for the whole world. So we also have Florentina and Michael Gartner here. Would either one of you like to say gratitude or have questions for David in regards to his presentation and creation? And August?
Well, I was blown away too. Thank you so much, David. Really, it was so inspiring, and you were brilliant. Really, we've met a few weeks ago, David, and that was what I tried to transfer. It was just activating your inner healer, because I knew it. You are brilliant. You are like this. It's all about keeping up this higher frequency, because this was just like a bliss shower with all of us, just from the beginning to this moment. And I hope we keep on like this, because this is it. This is what we are working for, what we are feeling. And I feel really so blessed to be here with all of you. And now look, it's just a little thing that I want to share with you, David. You talked about, the desert. You felt that you were in a desert. Now, my first vision that I told about to Lumi a few days ago was just a vision that I had with eyes open wide, and I've been in the desert, and I see, people on horses coming to me, and I seen a person that was dying, thirsty, and I'm just bringing water to that person. Now, I was so moved about this vision of yours that, overlaps on my first vision in my life. And I think it's, this water is how we can inform our biofield with all this coherence to be in flow. I can't imagine how it is to be permanently in flow, but I think we can keep up a higher vibration in this way. So thank you, David, and thank you to all of you for being here.
Thank you. Oh, it's beautiful. I just like, one of my things I struggle with is receiving praise as well, because because most of us are probably the same. We like had very hard childhoods and very critical and very tough parents who are I love very much and I forgive everything we've been through and everything I went through. So it's hard to like receive that. So like, it's just like, what's it say? It's just like.
It says those who are selfless find God. That's just today's tea.
Oh right. Yes, too. So like it's just like hard. It's just like we put it the same kind of thing. It's just like that's one of the things. Like I'm a giver because we're like I'm like an angelic. I'm like it too far out there. I'm like an incarnated angel. Like most of us far off, like angelic realms and Chris as well. We're so sensitive. That's why I like call like autistic, and most autistics are actually angels incarnated. That's why they're so sensitive. All these problems kind of thing. That's why we have problems with communication because we're used to being telepathic and we struggle to be in our bodies and we can't. I said I walk back and forth to try and ground and I used to be more autistic. You met me 10 years ago. I was proper autistic. Like I couldn't talk. I stuttered. I was humming. I was a mess. Basically, and I slowly like you think I'm healing now, but you just see me 10 years ago. I've done massive healing on myself for 10 years, and it's still like a journey for life, forever. But that's why autistic people struggle with communication and social awareness and communication because we're not used to being in the body and we're not used to trying to talk. And I was told I don't have many past lives here. Like I don't have many lifetimes in a body at all. So this has been very difficult to try to be in the body, and especially in this planet, in the body, and in his density, it's been really challenging. But now the vibrations are going up. Like it's getting a bit easier. But like I just getting used to not sleeping now. Like Mark, though, I think I'm learning just to accept it. Like rather than trying to get my 8 hours sleep, which is a myth. It's just like whatever. I'm gonna wake up at 4 in the morning and have 3 hours sleep. Then I'm just gonna go with it. I think I'm just gonna start coding. That's what I used to do. Just start coding through the night. Better than lying there trying to sleep in these high energies. Just surrender, isn't it? Trust. But yeah, it's nice to know you're not alone. So it's good. I can't remember where I was going with that now. But, yeah, you guys can talk again. I never used to talk at all when I was younger, and now that's why I talk so much because I used to be introverted, and now I've gone more extroverted.
I know what you mean, for sure. Michael, do you have something to say? Michael Gartner. Michael has a lot of thoughts and ideas as well. Maybe he's getting some tea or something at the moment. Yeah.
I can follow up with some of that last thread. One of my favorite, I call them bridge doctors, which are helping bridge the old healthcare system to the new healthcare system. Dr. Zach Bush, in his insights, in his awakening, he said the same thing. He said, autistic children are angels. You know, when they start getting an understanding of how to relate with these lower frequencies, it becomes their gifts start pouring out. Can't get them out fast enough, the gifts. Yeah. So we really see you, David. Really see you. That's it's beautiful. Kind of why I like Chris Larkham also.
Because Chris is like he's like my cosmic brother. He's like literally, I said I love you all and I'm very close to you all, but the closest person to me who's like me is Chris. He's like my Tan said, like Andrea, she feels he's like a twin flame to me. We're both from like angelic realms. Our souls go way back, and like he's like an Arcturian archangel, I'm like a Syrian archangel, and that's why we've got big pieces of the new internet, and we're like bringing this. He's Iron Man, I'm Superman, and we're like, can you imagine that? You look in the films, like Iron Man leads the Avengers and Superman leads the Justice League, and you've never seen it done in the films, have you? Imagine the Justice League and Avengers join forces, and Iron Man and Superman get together. Like, what the hell are they going to build? And that's like when me and Chris got together in Bali. It was just mind-blowing, but at the same time, like the price to pay, because like the more gifted you are in certain areas, the more you got to like pay. So we've both got serious health issues, we've got serious shadow work to do, and we've got like it's been ridiculous, and that's what keeps us humble and forces us to be present, like, because we've got very strong minds, but to balance it out, we have to have serious shadow stuff to force us to surrender and let go and just be in our hearts and and to balance it out, because it's hard when I'm on a computer and I'm working more now. My mind's getting more and more busy again, because it's like getting all these downloads and I'm building, and then I've got to do so much meditation and yoga and breathing just to balance it out. Otherwise, like, my mind just drags me along again like a wild horse, and it's very challenging, like having that like this, but that you have to like balance it out. It's why I'm getting to work a few hours a day, because it just can't sustain that kind of, you know, that candle burns twice as bright, burns for half as long. You can't keep going at that speed kind of thing. You just got to do in spurts kind of thing. I think most people can relate to that. We're kind of all similar, like, on the spectrum. It's just different degrees of it.
Let's have another call on that, because I found a recent connection why I don't need much sleep, and it's an infinite supply of energy. So I would love to talk to you about it in relation to flow state use and how you can go further without the effort.
And I need more hours in a day, because I said to you on our call, it's like, Mark had a call and I was saying, like, Mark doesn't sleep, and like, how, and I said, like, how do you not get overwhelmed because all the things you're tracking? And I was like, I could barely get like 1 or 2 hours on a day when I'm resting, yoga, meditation, and I burnt out of my adrenals. I've got problems with my adrenals, as most of you know, and that's quite common with autism because of all the stress and the high energies. It's like, they told me it's like having a Ferrari engine in a Skoda body. Like I love a body, but like when my soul or my mind like overwhelm my body, my body can't keep up with it, so it burnt out, and like, all the stress we're under and all these high energies we're channeling, my body's just like, this is why I need to rest so much. So if it's a technique I can use in meditation, the way to restore my health and energy faster, so I can code more, that'd be great, because I can really speed up a bit more then. I'm trying to find that magic source somewhere. So have you got the secret to unlock?
Yeah, well,
full potential?
I'm actually reaching out to Jamie Wheel and Stephen Kotler, who wrote Stealing Fire about the flow state. And I was at a flow state research group meeting, and I noticed that they were talking about this, you know, how to recover, how to do what are you going to do on your recover time? Right? And, you know, when part of the flow state is effortlessness, what's there to recover from? If you're moving in an effortless way, there's no resistance, no wear and tear on the body. It's just at high speed. And it doesn't mean that you have to run your physical body at high speed, but you could endlessly. And it ties into things like breatharianism, right? Where a breatharian doesn't need to consume food, doesn't really even need to do the sun gazing, doesn't need to even have the water. All of the energy can be transmuted. It can be changed, and the infinite potential of the universe is filled with the quantum fluctuations of energy. And to utilize that and become these human transducers, or where we take that energy, like breathing prana, feed the body exactly what it needs, not a substitute. No, exactly what energy the entire system, all of the system in the human body needs. That's something that I'd love to explore with these guys, because it's just one limitation that is part of the old paradigm. It's kind of like, you know, I talked to a doctor about, well, they're not getting their essential amino acids, and they couldn't possibly do this, right? Well, that's like Brett Wysarski's, you know, preposterous zone, right? It'll never happen, right? Yeah, well, right. Never is a very long time. And the way consciousness works, yes, all problems, all limitations, all of them, they're all finite. They're all temporary. And knowing that, just knowing that, gives you insight into what's truly possible in the infinite potential of this universe. So don't worry about it. You got it. And we can heal up. Let's have another call and work on doing some body healing so that you can move smoother and more effortlessly in a timeless space.
I'd be so grateful because I known, like I said, I burnt out in 2013 in my adrenals, and they go through phases getting better and then worse again, depending on what stress I've been on. Because of last year, it's been so stressful. I've been struggling with it again, and I got this thing like the adrenals repair between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. So I got to like, and I used to be able to go to bed at 9 or 10 and fall asleep, but because the energy wave comes in at about 10 o'clock, I'm so sensitive to energy, it wakes me up again. So I've got to like start winding down at 6 now, and I yoga at 7, bath at 8. I've got this new routine, and I just like, no matter what I do, it just doesn't seem to work, and like the energies are going up and up and up. And I never used to be able to sleep years ago anyway, and on a half moon, let alone a full moon, I stopped sleeping. And now like these energies since Lionsgate and well this year, it's just nuts. And and I wish I must be aware, like you said, what you're saying, I can use that energy to power me up rather than it's actually having a negative effect right now because it's stopping me sleeping, therefore I'm not getting the healing I need. So I've got to like, I know the breath is the key. Like, and when I do breathing into adrenals, that's how I energize myself. In a day, that's what I do. When I have rest, I meditate and I do breathing. Breathing is the most effective meditation I do because that just calms the mind. But mostly it's to re-energize my adrenals. They love my breath, like you're saying. I breathe the white healing light into them, and I breathe Mr. Happy's. This is my thing. I breathe Mr. Happy's and smiley faces into him and Superman, obviously my mascot. So that's what I do. I breathe them and hearts into my adrenals. And my adrenals love Mr. Happy and the hearts, and Superman because it's power me up. But I just got like, if there's a way I can combine that with what you're talking about, so I can sustain it. So I'd love to just work out a more optimal sleep pattern. But because it's been very difficult, cause I just love to do that. Because some days I don't work. Sometimes, because Chris is the same. Like I know me and him relate. That's why he understands me better than anyone. I understand him better than everyone because he's got serious health issues. And sometimes, like we can do amazing things really quickly, and other times we won't do any work for months because of like some serious like health issues, like either shadow work, alchemy, or just physical. Like he's got his autoimmune and hip problems, and I had my adrenals, and it's quite funny. Like one day in the film, there'll be a making of this, and there'll be like Iron Man and Superman. Like they're making Iron Man and Superman as we're hobbling like old age pensioners down a street in Ubud, and he's like hip, like limping along with his hip. He's like, and I'm like, oh my back, and he's like, oh god, the noise, the scooters, and I'm like, oh god, the pain. And we're just like, 1 minute we're like in our lab, like building like amazing stuff on our whiteboard, and we're doing crazy like math scientists like downloading the visionaries, and next minute we go out to get something to eat, and we're like collapsed on the high street, and we're like call a taxi, we're like having a meltdown. Chris is having a meltdown because it's too noisy, I can't walk anymore, and then his hip playing up, then he starts getting problems with his eye and autoimmune, and we're just like and we just look at it now, we just laugh at it. Do you know what I mean? It's like we feel like some superhero kind of thing. We're just like, but that's part of the training kind of thing. It's part of the thing to keeping us present and humble and to like keep us like and just to help keeping us out of our mind, to balance out all the cogs going around the heads all the time, is to get us into our heart again. And it's just like, and now I look back, I just laugh at it. Like at the time it's really difficult, but sometimes, you know, it's like when like Totally saying, you just zoom out, you finally let go, you get so distraught and you're resisting, and when you resist you suffer, and when you finally let go, you just laugh at your mind. And I just like, sometimes I remember I had a scooter accident, and I was just laughing, I was bleeding out, and I was in shock, and I was walking around the temple, and those people were going, you should call an ambulance. I was just laughing like a crazy man. I was just like I was just like, you just laugh at it, and just that's just sweet surrender. Just like
David. Yeah.
Beautiful stories, David. This is wonderful to hear your information, but like Mark was saying, let's have another call that we can a little in regards to this, and to yeah, this is happening to a lot of us, and that's why we're all creating these things. You're probably having these visions because of your personal human needs and the needs that you have seen in your family and your friends and in the world around you. That's why you're considered like an angel, because you're able to see this, and you're also seeing that you're having a lot of mind and a lot of attachment to the pain. So that's why when you do Vipassana meditation, it's all about you're letting go of the attachment. When you let go of the pain, you actually comes through you, and then it's no longer a part of you. So that's one of the transformational experiences. Like you can have transformational or transmutational. I'm more of a transformational artist than a transmuter, because a transmuter kind of like makes it pop into thin air and not exist anymore. And I think that's more like Mark style, and that's what we're going for, quantum reality kind of thing. But I'm more of a 3D to 5D transformation artist because I ground it into reality. So that's one of the, this is a great segue into maybe just ending the call after I speak a little bit about Conscious Playground, because Conscious Playground for me is a segue into a new reality. It's basically just an interface, and it's low polygon. It's not this cryo like realistic world that you're talking about, David. It's yeah. So transformational rather than transmutational, because one thing that we do as a people is we have different ways that we create transformation or transmutation. And for me, I'm more like very, very slow. Like I feel something and then I check it out and I analyze it. And then I feel something and I check it out and I analyze it. It's a little bit of like a understanding what's happening to my body. And through that, I've been working on imagining a lot of transformational systems that we can create through technology, like entrainment systems and karmic systems and healing systems to help people get out of the pain that you're talking about, David, because I personally have been in that a lot as well. Sometimes I wasn't able to get out of bed and I was afraid that I couldn't walk a few years ago.
It was like, yeah, I went for a while. I didn't walk for a year. I was in a wheelchair for like a year or 2 years. It was so bad I couldn't walk and talk. Like, so I'd love to have come in here for one-on-one. I'd love to like hear more of how you manage it. I really like to.
That's why I'm creating Conscious Playgrounds. So that's why, because the whole idea is that we have the domes so that people can have one-on-one sessions, and we have the pyramids so that people can hold space. People can like go in the pyramids, be like get into this kind of enlightened space. They can go into the meditative journey and they can hold space for the entire space. It's shaped like an octagon, so, and with pyramids on the end, because one of the visions I had, and it's also coordinated with a lot of other people's visions. So I can't say that it's only mine, but it's I'm able to piece it together because my visions too that I've had very vividly is that we had 8 people in an octagon sitting in meditative pose and creating interdimensional new reality spaceship kind of thing, and hopping worlds, hopping fractals from one quantum reality to another quantum reality. So if we have 8 people sitting in the pyramids holding down a coherent field, then that's creating the coherent field in the entire system. And then we have a fire tender in the center of the Conscious Playground, because there's the alchemical fire in the middle. And then there's the domes of consciousness surrounding that. So the domes of consciousness are open to people having one-on-one sessions or group sessions where people are guided through how to release their pain, how to let go, how to be in flow states, and how to, whatever the offering is. Everyone's got their own offering in their own way, and people will resonate to what works for them. So right now,